Hello and welcome to the Thursday show here on the Frontline Gaming Network. My name is Paul Murphy. I'm joined by Adam Camilleri
Evening, everybody.
and Dustin Henshaw.
Good evening, everybody.
This is your weekly meta snapshot rundown here on the Frontline Gaming Network. We talk about the biggest tournaments coming up over the weekend. We're going to talk about what you're going to see there. We're going to talk about how to beat them. We're also, maybe going to theorize, see about where we right in previous episodes. Of course, we're always right. Everybody knows we can call them. Can we call them or what, gentlemen?
We always call them. That's why we never go over it. We don't need to. Talk
Infallible.
Infallible.
Who needs hindsight? It's a useless trait. It's worthless.
We do this live every week. Sorry, what you got?
We do have a bit of a different show for you today because Nephilim has dramatically changed the landscape, and we wanted to just focus on the future. Like I said, no looking back. So the three events that we found for you are of the smaller variety, but they're ones that we know have adopted all the rules changes.
Look, there's small tournaments. It doesn't matter. These are still like hotbeds of where people are building lists for, and everybody's trying to win. That's why it's still worth talking about. But also, yeah, we did try to highlight the folks that are adopting the new changes coming up. Again, we talked about even last week and the week before. It's going to be radically different coming up this week, and we'll see if we're right about that as well.
Real different, people.
Well, let's see. We'll put it to the test here in just a couple of moments. We do this live each and every Thursday. We have a great chat community. If you are, if you got nothing to do on Thursday evenings, come check us out. We do it at 9 p.m. Eastern time live. If you're listening to us on the podcast aggregators or YouTube or whatever after the fact, of course, we still appreciate that, but we'll at least let you know that you can come and hang out. And sometimes we reference the chat during the course of the show. We want to make sure everyone gets the opportunity to participate if you want to. I did mention this is on the Frontline Gaming Network, and I also want to mention that they got some huge tournaments coming up over the course of the next several weeks, months. LSO 40K champs, super major status, tickets on sale, join us, great deals on miniatures and stuff. Check them out if you haven't already. We're going to be talking about some events coming up here in the UK. We've got, I think, 3 events all in the UK, right?
All from different, like we got one on the Isle of Man, we got one in Scotland, and we got one in England. And
this Isle of Man tournament, this is their this is their one tournament they do on the Isle of Man. We actually got alerted to this by a great friend of the show, great friend of ours, Mr. John Hickton. So he made sure to let us know that everyone participating in this tournament had their faction filled out. So we'll see if he was correct on that. But we'll get there. The first one we want to talk about is the Clan Wars Scottish Open.
I just take a second to highlight the honeyed words upon which they sold us on the Isle of Man tournament. All the factions are listed, guys. The work's done. It's a beautiful time. Come enjoy the Isle of Man with us. They know what we want to hear. I love it.
Look, if you're new to the show, you'll see how we run things down. But this is a 32-player, 5-round event. Dustin, you know what we want.
I know what you want, and I'll be happy to give it to you. The Imperial Super Faction. There are 5 sisters and 32 players. Damn! 1 Astra Militarum, 1 Grey Knight, 2 Imperial Knights. Then in the Space Marine Super Faction, there's 2 Space Wolves, 1 Blood Angel, 2 Death Watch. The Chaos Super Faction, there is 1 Chaos Space Marine, 2,000 Suns, 2 Death Guard, 1 Demon, 1 Renegade Knight. The Xeno Super Faction, a single Necron. No orcs.
Where's the Tau? Where's the Tau? Where? What Tau?
Never heard of it. What Tau? They're gone. They're gone. They're gone. Back to their home. Back to their home pond. The fish people have gone home. Hive Mind Super Faction, 2 Tyranids, and here it is, 3 GSC. That's right. Wait for it. Eldari Super Faction, there's 3 Harlequins, 1 Assyriani, 1 Inari. The faction podium means sisters at the top with 5. In second, it's Harlequins and GSC with 3, and then a bunch of 2s. The spread here is fantastic, but holy crap, did sisters they're coming out. They're coming out.
Is it crazy that the top 3 factions are the 3 probably most predominant MSU factions in the game at the moment, and that it's just, I mean, you can't take a huge amount from it because it's a small sample size, but the distance between those 3, if you add them up and percentage wise between them and like non-MSU stuff or elite factions, is actually nuts when you think about it.
Yeah, it is actually pretty crazy. The drop off between them, especially with the sisters thing, I can't get over that right now because sisters have always been kind of on that cusp of being really good, but nobody really took them. And Nephilim apparently is jumping him up there with the secondary change. My God, man!
I was going to say secondary changes. I mean, like what do you think is maybe spurred them into this top position here?
Or defend the shrine. Sorry, defend the shrine.
Yeah, so they now have a triple complement of 3 faction secondaries that are all extremely takeable, and some of they have the best or equal best secondary game in the meta at the moment. And then
like a solid 45 points is what you're saying.
It's a solid 35.
I'd say 35 easy.
Yeah, and like that's the floors at like a 30.
Yeah,
you know, when you start at 30 just by like standing in the deployment zone, you tend to get people tend to want to take you. On top of that, they got points reduction on 2 of their best units, both the jump pack, the Seraphim and the Zephyrim, both got points reductions.
Yeah. What we're talking about, obviously, we're talking about tournament games. You score a certain amount of points, you get to pick your secondaries. Now, one of the changes with Nephilim is that you used to only pick one faction specific secondary, but now you can take multiples. And so, if you happen to be blessed with the ability, you know, you've been kind of given things that play right into your faction in a good way, then you might get a point advantage in each game.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's something that we talk about on here is that when you've had a balance, a shake-up, some people get their list readjusted, some people get their best list just like changes 500 points. You know, this little combo goes out, that little combo goes in, and then you got factions that simply get hated. They go back to the drawing board and they have to reinvent themselves from there. And I believe that's where Tau is. I believe Tau is at that point where they need a full reconstruction from the ground up, which is why
I don't know, man. I still feel like a bunch of crisis suits is still probably all right.
I've seen a lot of Tau players where they've started to go, and they're just kind of feeling out the grounds. But a lot of what I've seen them testing right now is triple hammerhead and triple riptide.
Yeah. Triple Riptide, triple Hammerhead, or it's one unit of 5 crisis with the triple hammers, and stuff like that. But I will tell you right now, the trend of little to no Tau is going to for this week's event is going to continue. It's a thing. Let's jump over and talk about some of the top players in attendance because
before we do that, let me give some shout outs to folks in the chat. Armin Steve says they got a grand tournament coming up later on south of the border there in Hidalgo. Maybe we talk about that. We'll see. You know, put that on the radar. Awesome. Norgomat, what's up? Igbar says, Adam, you made the LVO amazing for them. Had to boogie. Couldn't hang out for the chat, but wanted to leave that comment for you, which was absolutely amazing. And some folks finally found us here on the Thursday show. I know we're elusive. We hide in the cracks.
They're like, what day? Oh my God, what day is it on? How am I going to catch it?
What day is the Thursday show on? I can't figure it out.
It's how they find us after the fact. We'll try to make that easier. We are sympathetic and we will try to make it easier. But otherwise, 9 p.m. Eastern time, we roll live each and every week. Hope to see y'all joining us.
All right, let's knuckle down. Let's see some lists. Top players in attendance. First off the top, funnily enough, this Scottish GT is the most stacked of the weekend. I'm so happy to see some Scots in the top rankings. I think it's awesome. First up is Inez Wilson. He's ranked 4th in the world and 4th in the UK. You know what that means? That means the 3 guys above him are also in the UK. So he's playing Tyranids, he's playing Leviathan. So sticking a bit tried and true, but the flavor and the archetype has definitely changed. This is a single battalion detachment. It's got a Flyrant, a Neurothrope, 10 Gargoyles, 2 fatty 9-man warrior units, so 2 units of 9 warriors, 3 Tyrant Guard. He's still got the Pyrovores, still 2 units of 3 Pyrovores, 3 Venom Thropes, 1 unit of 3 Sky Slasher Swarms, Death Leaper, 1 single Biovore, and a Tyrannocyte, which I know has always been one of his favorite little special spicy tech pieces. I'm assuming it's usually going to have 3 Pyrovores in it, and just dump down and get the Pyrovores in people's way early on and get them on an angle where they can do some good damage. But hand pass to Dustin, our Tyranid expert. What do you make of this list?
Oh, it's a fantastic list. It's Leviathan, so the big warrior bricks make perfect sense. Those things are so people are never ready for how durable these Leviathan warriors are. They have permanent transhuman. They have a -1 damage strike. Like, they are ridiculously hard to get through. They're going to have an invuln for most of this game, probably, if not all of it, because of all the stuff that they have with the Zoanthropes giving it to them, and he is Leviathan, so we can keep casting on one of them, so they'll always have a 5-up invuln. Like, they are so hard to get through. There was the tournament that I went to this past weekend, there were 4 Tyranid lists, and there was over 100 warriors between the 4 of them.
Ooh.
Wow. Wow.
Sounds painful.
Yeah, you could hear the pain across the hall with everybody playing against them. It's like, oh my God, these warriors will not die. We heard that 20 times. They're ridiculous. And that Tyrannocyte with the so you should put 6 Pyrovores in there, because why not, if you can do the damage with them? It's such a threat because it can come in turn 1 and it can do a lot of damage and just kind of pop some transports, kill some light infantry or even heavy infantry with 2 wounds if you wanted to. Like their profile is good against like everything. This is like this right here is still the Tyranid list that we were playing before, but it's made for Nephilim now. And you notice it's not that much different overall. Sky Slasher Storms are just flying rippers.
So they lost. So it lost the second flyer, of course, because it's no longer. It used to be a 2 patrol, double patrol list, and now it's gone to a single battalion, which I think makes all the sense in the world. If you're taking Leviathan, you've got a bunch of CP you want to use. But still has Death Leaper in there. I think when you take the battalion, you can justify the Death Leaper Warlord trait to make him the OBSEC annoying bastard that he is. But there's everything else in this just makes sense, right? Just all just makes sense.
It's all still just stuff that's good.
I just can't believe the Death Leaper was in debate for like how does someone not start playing Tyranids and instantly include the Death Leaper?
It was whether or not you take the Flyrant or the Death Leaper.
Death Leaper or the Parasite.
Oh, the Parasite. Sorry, that was
Parasite, I guess.
Because they're like sometimes you can't afford to buy them both, and you definitely can't afford to buy both of them Warlord traits now. So it's now it's definitely one or the other. But I think the question was because you could still take double patrol and get your 2 Flyrants. You just got to be willing to start it like the donut CP wise. Like you will have none.
Well, the other thing with Death Leaper is that he's the one that if was in close combat with like engagement range, you can't use strats. So he has that extra little buff in there too.
It's a much better tech piece when he's hiding in 18 warriors, which is what's going to happen here. He's going to be like in the blob of 18 warriors. He's going to go out and you're going to be like, can you kill 18 warriors in melee with no stratagems? And I got to tell you, probably not. At least not in 2 or 3 turns of combat.
The decision of when to go to 0 CP is probably a discussion we're going to have on some other podcast.
For sure.
And stuff.
Whenever you want to take 3 Calamorphs.
You should. It's a good time.
But that is a real concern, what you were just talking about.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Brian Siep. Who's ranked 10th in the UK right now. He's playing Bloody Rose Sisters. I will let you guys know, I pulled out a list for this week's events, and I've tried my best to get one of every faction to give you guys the best spread of the Nephilim changes. So if you are playing your faction sitting at home, you can get an example of something you might see. I think we've got 2 Tyranid. We've got a Tyranid double up, but they're very different lists. Apart from that, I don't think there are any others. But Brian Siep's 10th in the UK, playing Bloody Rose. This is another single battalion detachment. Makes all the sense in the world. Hospitaller and a Repentia Superior in the no force org slot. Morven Val and the Canoness, the HQs. Makes all the sense in the world. 2x5 Battle Sisters, 10 Novitiates, a Dogmata, a unit of 9, and 2 units of 5 Repentia. So that is a good amount right there. 1 unit of 3 Paragon Warsuits. The full 2x10 Zephyrim. So no small 6-man, 7-man. It's the full 2x10. 2 units of 5 Retributors and 2 Rhinos. It's actually a really tidy list, and it just has a ton of stuff.
Are those Repentia are those like now throwbacks? Are those classic units now? Are they tech now?
I think they're still necessary.
You reckon? So you're trying to say, are they the core? Are they a core unit now, or are they a tech piece now? I think having some is a core of the army. The numbers you take is dependent. It tells me a lot about what you want to do with them. If you got 3x9, you're going in, you're trading in the middle. You'll be throwing big bombs, and you're expecting to see freaking 9 warriors, and stuff like that to go after. Where if I see 2 5s and a 9, you're using them to clear objectives, flip stuff, and then wait for the big melee in the middle to send your 9 in. But that's funnily enough that I usually see bigger Repentia squads and smaller Zephyrim squads, and now that script has been flipped.
I love the giant Zephyrim squads. I think that's great.
The 10s are huge, but like you with Sanguinary Guard, Paul, you find that 10 Zephyrim and 7 Zephyrim usually kill the same amount of stuff. And it's just how willing are you to overkill what you're going after. Do we know why we're starting to see bigger units?
I mean, I will say that with these changes, and this is actually based off the Nephilim changes, I've gone even deeper into the Sanguinary Guard. Like instead of 7 8-mans, you're going to see 9, maybe even a 10-man. Out of things, and I think that's.
Is it just because they dropped 2 points? Is that the only reason?
I mean, that does incentivize you, yes, a little bit. But I mean, I think we're going to see people investing in larger squads just like this, for like larger death guards, units and things like that. And so you're going to want the extra punch, and so fleshing out those units to get them one more turn of activity, I think is why I like that 10-man squad.
So pointed out by Medi821, can I ask if the Repentia and the Rhino? We honestly don't know, but the fact is the two Rhinos give you a lot of duality in this list. You have two Retributors in one, so they can get a little bit of sling action around corners to get better angles. And yeah, you have that beautiful scout, a Rhino scout transport trick with the Bloody Rose. We saw at BAO. Apologies, can't remember the gentleman who won it, but he used that every turn to make sure his opponent's front line just wasn't there. Oh, do you have screens?
Oh, wow.
Sorry, you don't. So 2 units of 5, or even just 1 unit of 9 going in and making sure, even if people have like a couple of baby knights out front, 1 unit of 9 Repentia fully jacked will just go straight through those.
Well, that's the thing with it. When you have two Rhinos, even just one Rhino, it gives you that kind of like we can't say if they're going to put it in there because it's like different every game, but he has the option and actually a lot of versatility in this list, the way it's built out.
Yeah.
Like, you can put the Battlestas in there, you can put the Retributors in there, you can put the Repentia in there, like you said. Then you can put the 9 in there with like the Cannon S, or the 9 in there with the Repentia Superior. Like there's so many things you can do with those Rhinos there. So there's a lot of options. They're in there for the versatility. For sure.
And y'all were saying these smaller tournaments wouldn't be as spicy, but this is pretty spicy.
They didn't say it was going to be spicy. It was just there's not that many people, right?
So next up, we have Chris Irvine, who's a member of the Scottish WTC team, so very strong member. I'm going to straight up hand pass this one to Paul. It's a Blood Angels list.
Ooh, Paul's going to go over a list. We haven't had that happen in a while.
Right off the bat, 5 Voidsmen at Arms. As soon as you see that, you know that this player has thought about stuff.
The thinking man's Blood Angel. The thinking man's Blood Angel right there, you know?
He's actually planning on getting points. He just doesn't want to table his opponent. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
5 Assault Intercessors. I'd be curious how they're armed because, there's a couple different ways you can arm the Sergeant or whatever. 4 Servitors. Again, another thinking choice here. Landspeeder Storm. Yet another thinking choice. It's just tactics, and a patrol detachment there. Then we got a Vanguard. Sanguinary Priest. The Sanguiner. Sanguiner is awesome. He kind of has peaks and troughs as far as like when you're going to see a lot of the Sanguiner. I think right now is one of the Sanguiner's time to shine. Sanguinary Ancient, another 5 Assault Centurions, which we've seen popularized recently. We can unpack that a little bit. 5 Death Company, 5's kind of that magic number. You equip them. You only spend 1 command point for Forlorn Fury. Yep. 3 times Sanguinary Guard. I guess this is what I'm talking about. Like the points for some of the other things that they've chosen have to come from somewhere, and that's why these Sanguinary Guard are not in 9 and 10 man. If you ask me, still great choices. And then 3 Eliminators. Eliminators you don't see very often in Blood Angels or Marines. Period. So, again,
Professor,
spicy, spice.
I have a question, Professor. Is Landspeeder Storm, that's the dedicated transport, isn't it?
It is it's the one that holds scouts. So it's the longer one.
There's no scouts in this list. Is there
no
anything else go in there?
No, nothing goes in there. No, nothing can go in there.
Because isn't that one of the facts now that dedicated transport they don't have anything, just die?
Just dies?
Just dies?
Could he put any characters in, or can it only have
That's what I'm wondering.
I believe that thing only can hold scouts.
That's what I thought.
Let me see if it might do something like Servitors or something. We'll
Just gonna tell you right now, Chris. That's a mistake. No,
he might need to email the organizer.
But wait,
the other one that could be is that if the Void Men at Arms have the Inquisitor, esque freedom to go in any transport, that could be
that would be really good. Then
that could be really
that would make a lot of sense.
We'll have to look into that. Anybody in chat, if you know straight up,
let us know in chat. I actually don't know. Like, I'm curious. I would like to know this because
I'm looking now.
You would assume he hasn't made that mistake.
I would assume so as well.
Start a term on every game, opponent's going to be like,
boom.
But hey, here we are.
With that, we'll figure that out in a minute or two, or somebody help us out in the chat or whatever. But I will say that the choices here for Servitors, like I've labored over a few Servitors are 48 points.
That's
good. That's pretty good. Good time.
Oh, wait, 4 Servitors though, just like the whole backline. Can you take them in units of 6?
I think you
so.
can go up to 6, but like the minimum unit is 48 points or something like that. It's practically free.
Practically free, yeah. I mean, that is practically free. That means he can actually use everything else with whatever he needs to do, right? And Blood Angels are mobile enough that they can go wherever they want, whenever they want. So it gives them with the Voidsmen and the Servitors, just sit in the back. That way, I'm 48 points in the backfield. That's fine.
Yeah. So I think this list is probably set up to be almost like a trade on points type list. looking at it and not going for huge wins, wanting to eke out those kind of marginal victories.
Singles, you only got to win by 1 point.
That's exactly right. And with the Angels, you don't have any problem kind of controlling that middle field or in your opponent's deployment zone. You've almost kind of test your opponent to see if they can get through that wall of gold.
I was right. They have it's not the Inquisitor one, it's called Warrant of Trade. The unit can ignore keyword requirements when embarking in Imperium transports. So he's putting the Voidsmoon in the Storm.
There you go.
That's some spicy tech there, Chris.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Good job.
Nice spot, nice working that out. But no, I think that
we figured it out. See, you didn't trick us. You almost did, but we
cracked the code.
Between the three of us, we figured it out.
Boys, Assault Centurions. They're starting to be a thing now. It's not just a meme, not just a joke. Stephen Box just didn't make it happen once in one place in one time. What do we think? Is this the way forward for Marines?
It's a total meme. It is a total meme.
Paul's not on board. Paul is not on board.
So I'm not saying it's not good, and I'm not saying that good players can't make it happen. I'm saying that it take advantage. We talk about the windows, right?
Yes, the window.
Yeah, the window is there, and take advantage of it.
So the only thing that the Blood Angels list struggles with is the mass strength 8s or the strength above 6 -1 to wounds and things like that, because they're spamming a lot of strength 5 weapons all the same guard. Yeah, the toughnesses. Sorry, what did I say? I said strength.
We got it. We're wrong. We're tracking.
We're tracking.
Strength 10, -3 or -4. -4 damage 3 is a profile that you can't replicate with Blood Angels very well, because you can get Thunder Hammers, you can get -2 damage 3 out the wazoo, whatever. But they're getting that high rend past the strength 8 breakpoint is actually hard to do, and so the Assault Centurions kind of do that for you. They kind of mean like you can bubble up a mid board around the Assault Centurions against some Knight armies and be like, well, what are you going to send in? You can kill one unit of Sangard, and then everything just dies to the Assault Centurions. On top of that, every time you res an Assault Centurion, like because somebody killed one, it's a huge leapfrog in movement and damage and
because they're on 50 mil base, which is like 3 inches wide or whatever.
They're freaking huge. They essentially double their move every time they bring one back. They move twice. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. That's big.
No, again, they are good, and I think folks are going to catch people a lot, but I just think that it is ultimately something that is this is the window. Take advantage of it.
This is it. All right. I honestly just think, you've got the fourth ranked guy in the world at this event. It's going to be hard to pick against Inez. So let's put Inez on the kibosh. Can't pick Inez. Who are we picking?
Look, come on. Chris is winning. That's.
I'll go Brian. I'll go that sisters list.
Oh, great! I can't pick my nids.
There's 3 GSC players. What are you doing?
Well,
what are you talking about?
Obviously, GSC's going to win it, right? I mean, I don't.
You had the easiest choice of all of us.
Did
I? Second easiest. Sorry, Paul had Blood Angels.
The numbers are in our favor. The numbers are always in our favor. That's the thing with GSC.
That list,
we start creeping up everywhere.
Dustin, come on. Let's put it out to the chat. Show me a random GSC weapon and have the chat.
A random GSC weapon. All right. Here you go, chat. This is what you get live when you actually watch us live. Name that weapon.
What is that? He told me 5 minutes ago, and I still don't know what it is.
I didn't see what he showed. I know the description of what he showed because I was off making
Name that weapon.
So I can still get this wrong.
Name that weapon, chat. This is the kind of game you get to play if you're live with us every Thursday. Come on.
It's all right.
Oh, Mighty Laser. No.
We have
but
Mighty
Laser. You're in the right army.
No,
it's not a Mighty Laser.
You're in the right ballpark.
You're in the right ballpark.
All right.
The next tournament we're going to talk about is Warzone Man from Douglas, Isle of Man, United Kingdom. 29-player, 5-round event.
Seismic cannons. There they are. All right. Chat got it. Thank you, guys. I knew
well done.
Here.
Well done.
Thank you, chat. All right. Perfect. Now I can calmly go on to the quick and dirty stats of this event here. The Imperial Super Faction, there's 1 Sister, 1 Custode, 1 Admech, 1 Grey Knight. Space Marine Super Faction, there are 3 Dark Angels, 1 Blood Angel, 1 Ultramarine, 1 Black Templar, 1 Crimson Fist, 2 Iron Hands. Whoa, that's a weird spread. Chaos Super Faction, there's 1 Chaos Space Marine, 1 Death Guard, 1 Renegade Knight. Xenos Super Faction, 5 Necrons, 1 Orc, 1 Tau. Hive Mind Super Faction, there are 4 Tyranids. All the GSCO went to all the other tournament. And then the Eldari Super Faction, 2 Assyriani, which means the faction podium, Necrons topping it out with 5, Tyranids closely behind with 4, and then Dark Angels at 3.
Necrons, I guess all the GSC players, they just went to that tournament. All the Necron players came to this tournament. Yep. And I'm actually surprised we did not see Necrons like in the last, because they're stout.
Yeah. Do we think anybody got more from these 3 level changes than Necrons did? Did anybody get more?
Look, I've already seen the memes with the Silent King and the Canaptic Titan or whatever.
Boy. Yeah,
you know, just hanging out by themselves. It's going to be brutal. Necrons are going to win a lot of golds this weekend.
I don't disagree. I think it'd be very hard. I'd be very surprised if we don't see a bunch of Necron podiums this weekend, coming out of this weekend. Their build has changed fundamentally. Perfect segue, because I went and looked at all the Necron lists, because of course there was 5 in this event, so I wanted to catch that meta. It's actually pretty diverse. There was one guy playing actual Caesarican. Not
just the model or the old model.
Not just the Silent King. It was actual Silent King build. 3 of them were playing Eternal Expansionists, I believe. No, it might have been 4 playing Expansionists, but there was a couple of battalions, a couple of patrols and outriders, a couple of bits and pieces. 3 out of 5 took the Silent King, so it was actually still 2 players who didn't take him, which, considering how jacked we all think he is actually pretty interesting.
They just haven't painted yet. That's the thing.
They're just like,
still trying. That's a complicated model. You get a get like a pat on the back.
You want that to be pretty. You can't put
a thumbs up if you completed that model. It is not an easy model.
So the list I picked out from the Necron list was the one that I thought represented how much has changed and was the most interesting, because it was so fundamentally different to any other one we've seen since. Remember the arcing lot build in early 8th, when Necrons early 9th, when they first started their decline, and all
I've never heard it called that before. I think that is incredibly clever.
It is, the arcing lot. I thought it was really funny. So about
I know what they are, Dustin. I'm
pointing them out to you, Paul. You hadn't heard them before. I wanted to make sure you understood where the name came from. You see.
So about 16 months ago, we had a period of time when the Necron lists were starting to be in decline. Like the Warriors weren't holding up anymore, and people started looking for the alternative build, like the next best build. And they started playing the Tesseract Arcs and the DDAs and the Doomsday Stalkers. They tried to go to a mechanized durability skew because of all the quantum shielding. And this is like the next generation of that. So this is James Ramsey's Necrons. It's a relentlessly expansionist and eternal conquerors. Starts off with the Silent King, straight up slap him in. Then he's got a spearhead, and the whole rest of his army fits in a single spearhead. He's got a Technomancer, 2 units of 6 Scorpec destroyers to give you that melee punch and that response, a single plasma sight to go with them, 2 units of 3 Tomb Blades to be your little OBSEC bits and pieces to go out and try and flip objectives, 3 Annihilation Barges, 2 units of 6 Locust Destroyers, that's the non-heavy ones, and then 2 single heavy destroyers. A unit of 2 heavy destroyers. This, I believe, represents the most fundamental shift that we've seen in a while. There was a James Cromwell list archetype from a couple of weeks ago that was all the toughness 5, 3 wounders, but that was more of a melee skew rather than the shooting skew. This has the 2 units of 6 destroyers, the 3 Annihilation Barges, the 2 heavy destroyers, plus the Silent King. It's actually got a really good DACA battery of a bunch of different profiles. I'm here for it. I think it's good.
Yeah, and Nick in the chat says the Necrons have been having a rough time. They've kind of had a swing. They were, great for a bit, and then took a dip, and now have got a bit of resurgence, but now have been supercharged. Like the nitrous is flowing. Somebody's flipped the switch.
Yeah, well, those locust destroyers, they're the strength 6 -3 2 damage ones.
2 damage,
Is it 3 shots apiece?
D3 damage.
I actually like that they're D3 damage. They're one of the few units that I like as D3 damage still, because there's so much -1 damage out there that having a 1 or 2 units that has D3 still means you can just flip into them at the right meta.
Y'all were begging for 2 damage at one point in
I
time. Now it's
know.
like, give me that D3.
What can we need the D3 now? The D3 is better.
The meme that I came up with was that G-Dub is like sitting there like holding their bellies, ha ha ha, laughing at us all, like, because we were so hyped to get 2 damage like heavy bolters and stuff, and then they laughed and laughed as they gave -1 damage to everything, and it didn't matter. But yeah, now all the 2 damage stuff, a lot of the time D3 is better. Like, you want to play at the Death Guard, D3 is so much better than damage 2, so much better. Like, incredibly better. What do we make of this list, boys? And the one that I scratch my head on is the Annihilation Barge. I know he's got I know he's got a crap load of Rend 3 to go into the Armor of Contempt games, but in those games, the Annihilation Barges do 1/2 of nothing.
Are they like Tesla? Like
Tesla Destructor, and then they have the Underslung Heavy Gorse is usually the combination. You can swap them out for double of each of those, I believe.
I was just curious as if they're just going for volume shots. Are they really trying to chew through something to like open up holes or whatever?
For the Tomb Blades do that for sure. The Annihilation Barges, I think, are more. They think they're better for the AP. I don't know if they have that many shots.
So they come with a Gorse Cannon, which is heavy 3, strength 6, -3, D3, which I believe is the same on the the Locust Destroyers.
It's the exact same as the Locust Destroyers, yeah.
So he's spamming that profile out. He's got that everywhere. That strength 6, -3, D3 is the profile. He's just
it's
like,
for
this
the
is
-3.
Yeah, this is where I need to get my money. This is where I need to get my value. And then he's got a Twin Tesla Destructor, which is 10 shots at strength 7, no -1 damage, and then of course double exploding 6s. So that thing is there to kill Eldar. That the Tesla Destructors is the Eldar pick, and then everything else is against Armor of Contempt.
Okay.
That sounds right. You got to think with the Silent King being in the army, you're like how to support the Silent King.
Actually, on that subject too, did all of the Necron lists have the Silent King in it?
No, only 3 out of the 5. Yeah, only 3 out of the 5. I was surprised. Yeah,
really.
Like we said, we were joking that everyone's going to try and paint him up, and like, I wish I didn't have to paint this model. And
yeah,
I still, it's probably just painting, because I think he's just.
Although, if you think that people are going to automatically gun and take things that kill the Silent King, and you've got a bunch of warriors, I mean, if you're down like, okay, you granted you bring all this Melta, but I have 50 extra warriors to take the place of where the Silent King was. Those eliminators are looking, mighty weak.
Yeah, mind you, I really like the Locust Destroyers because they've got the magic. Remember last edition where we were just like, the fly keyword is the best keyword in the game, bar none. See you later, everybody else. Infantry is now that keyword, and Locust Destroyers have it, in addition to having fly. So they go and just go, you thought you were safe from us, we're going to go 8 to 10 inches, whatever the hell they move, I can't remember. And they're going to get around this angle, we're going to annihilate you. And it's got this list actually has a bunch of CP in order to supercharge them with the rerolls to hit, rerolls to wound. So they're going to be cranked.
We got a comment here, is that the Silent King is notoriously low-key. I cannot think of a lesser low-key model. Than a giant silver guy with
he rides on a giant monolith with two
and a glowing staff.
Onks, like giant onks.
He's literally got like a god that is screaming at the top of the thing. Like, it's just there screaming. So he's not rocking up like silent King like. He's rocking up with like
highest key.
But he's low key amazing. Actually, always has been low key amazing.
Blaine King is what he is. He's the
Blaine King. Wasn't my fault. Next list down, this is Ray Taylor's Death Guard, because I wanted to give you guys a snapshot on the Death Guard, where they're at. I actually really like this list, to be honest. It's just once again, it's Mortarian's Anvil, single battalion detachment, Lord of Contagion, 2 Plague Casters, 3 units of 5 Plague Marines with like 40 points of extra stuff for free. 2 units of 5 Blight Lords, which I thought was interesting. It wasn't 110, 2 5s. I actually like that better. 2 units of 3 Death Shrouds. So here's a full, we've got four little blocks of Terminators that are OBSEC here. A single Plague Surgeon to give some feel no pain. A Tallyman, and 2 units of 2 Methitic Blight Holders. I actually like this little. This is a good little defensive list.
Man, where are the more Plague Marines?
He probably just hasn't painted them, man. It's
you're probably right. We got a little bit of hobby lag happening right now.
Yeah. Who has 60? Because I would not be surprised to see that be a list eventually.
Dude, I ordered some more. Like I was.
Yeah, man.
Like I'm not ready for a tournament this weekend with the new Death Guard either.
Yeah, mind you, you do have 30 Blight Lords, so you could just do that instead.
That's true.
Look, I'm gonna get by if I have to play Death Guard. It'd be all right. But I'm saying that is I think that where we're gonna see like over time more and more Plague Marines hitting the table, and it probably will be in 5 or 10 man units at a time. Like next weekend we'll see 20 of them. The weekend after that we'll see 30. You know, the weekend after that 50 and 60 until we get into the next update.
In this list, I fully if this list archetype stays about the same, I fully expect the Tunes of 5 Blight Lords to be gone, and that to just be more Plague Marine points.
Really?
Yeah,
so, right?
I think because I think the Death Shroud and the Blight Lords are pretty ubiquitous. You just need a couple units of them. You can have either, and I think that for me the Death Shroud are better. Because you keep the better melee profile you keep the way better rendered melee, and that hits on 2s. You've already got the shooting covered because you've got all the Plague Marines taking all the little special guns here, there, and everywhere. So when you lose from the Blight Lords, you replace with the Plague Marines. And durability wise, you're already hitting the skew just right. Doesn't matter. Do you know what's a nightmare right now for like a Plague Marine is a nightmare for Eldar. Like everything is either winning him on 3s or winning him on 5s. There's pretty much no strength 5 in that army, and all the stuff that's winning him on 3s, the strength 6 is only damage 1 on the shurikens. And if you don't rend, they don't care, and you don't have ignores cover anymore. So Plague Marines in cover versus Halo Doom, you're just like, did you roll 6s? No, I don't care. Cool, just 2s. Like it's pretty mad. It's pretty good there. Like 2s for 1 damage on the shuriken cannons. It's a thing.
What do y'all make of the Blight Haulers? Is that just another way to get some reliable Melta in there?
So they're down to what I think is a takeable price point now. I think they're around the 110 points now.
Really?
Come with a multi-melter, come with a flamer, come with a missile launcher. I'm not in love with them, but I think
fast as far as Death Guard go.
Yeah, I think they do something the list needs, right?
Yeah, it doesn't have any Plague Burst crawlers, so they're giving the kind of long. I'm not saying long range, but I mean long range for Death Guard shooting.
It's 24 inches. Yeah.
I love it. Nurglemat says he's ready. He's got all the
Plague
Marines. You got this list. I'm sure you had this list like 3 times over, Nurglemat.
He said he's got the 60. He's ready for the Plague
Marines. Oh yeah, there you go.
Ready
for that. Start us off, Nurglemat. Next tournament you go do 60 Plague Marines, buddy. You got this.
The Bile Wall or whatever.
Bile Wall.
Well, we do need a name for that archetype. Like we do, yeah.
We'll workshop it.
We will. We're open to submissions. All right, jumping down to the last one here. His name's Matthew Cheese, or the Big Cheese, as we like to call him on the Isle of Man. I just made that up, but hopefully that's the case. This is the Crimson Fist list because there was a player bringing Crimson Fist, so I'm like, I guess I'm doing that list because it's awesome.
Big Cheese.
Because he's a boss.
The boss.
He's playing a single battalion, and I love that this list is funny because unfortunately it's a bit wonky. I've got this the wrong way around as well. He's got a Gravis Captain, primarily Lieutenant, and a Tech Marine as the HQs, 5 Infiltrators. I've got this the wrong way around, but it's 2 units of 10 regular Intercessors because they actually make good use of the Crimson Fist rules. A Primaris Ancient. Never seen one of those before outside of Deathwing, but here we are.
Oh no, man! Because the fact they get to shoot when they die or whatever, you bubble up around them, and it's just like we're just gonna hopefully get a bunch of. I mean, he's probably taking the relic on him too, which makes it probably easier to get if I remember right.
Then we have 10 Reavers. So this is not 2 units of 5. This is full 10. 2 Relic Contemptors. This gentleman is playing 2 CP out of our very much reduced CP economy to take 2 Relic Contemptors. I can tell you right now, they both have twin las cannons. They both have 2 twin las cannons, and I believe they have the Cyclones as well.
Nice.
3 Suppressors, and then 2 units of 5 Hellblasters. So this is where I started joking. I'm like, so he's got 10 Reavers, which you could then combat squad, but makes a lot more sense if you just have 2 units of 5 Reavers, and then he has 2 units of 5 Hellblasters. That just makes more sense to have 1 unit of 10 and then combat squad when you need. But here we are. I love the list. It's got a
look. They're already painted, man.
It's right. It's right.
He's got squad marks on both of them.
It's the Big Cheese. Who it's the Big Cheese. Who can say anything to the Big Cheese?
With this army will function almost like a death ball. Essentially, you've got all these kind of like layers probably surrounding the captain and the banner.
I just wish it had Pedro. Like this army with +1 attack on everything would be sick.
Everything's Primaris though.
It is exactly right. You can see the theme is like I only play Primaris.
And is that a regular old Tech Marine? Is it?
I actually can't remember. To be honest, I would usually write down if it was a Primaris Tech Marine, like I do with everything
maybe
else.
It's firstborn.
So maybe it's not. Shame.
No,
no shame.
He's cheaper than Pedro. Yeah. So. But I bet he did the same kind of value analysis where it's like, I'm getting similar buffs from these other things that give me more pieces to move around on the table, and that's probably why. I bet a lot of what is the decisions in this are based around the secondaries and painting. Like this definitely seems like a hobby list. But
it's 48 Primaris bodies in infantry when you add it all up, and then 2 Contemptors. Like there is just that ability to be like pushing just a sheer quantity of wounds at you.
Sometimes Dreadnoughts don't die.
The big cheese. What more can we say?
Well, I mean, that's
rocket.
Enough said.
Enough said. Love it. What's our? So who's winning this one, boys? I'm going to pick a Necron player because I want that to happen. I need it to happen.
Necrons, they actually have a really good.
No, Necrons have this.
Yeah,
I mean, Necrons are, what are they? 15% of the meta or something.
Yes, something crazy.
I mean,
29 players and there are 5 of them.
Yeah, so Necrons are winning this. I think Necrons are primed to take this whole thing.
It's
Dustin,
time.
what you got? What you said?
Oh, I said Necrons too. Necrons for sure.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break for a word from our sponsors, checking out some of those sweet offerings I was mentioning earlier, and then we'll come back, do one more tournament, and then after that, we've got a bit of a palate cleanser we do each and every week called the Fuego Rapido. If you're not unfamiliar with it, hold on to your seats. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you in a few minutes.
At Frontline Gaming, we make the best tabletop gaming mats in the universe. Our mats are durable, rollable, foldable, wipeable, and storable. Oh, and they look damn great too. Join the thousands of tournament regulars and garage gamers who use our mats to bring their gaming surfaces to life. To ensure quality, Frontline Gaming mats are custom made one at a time, printed with high quality ink. Our immersive designs stay crisp and are available in a wide range of styles and sizes. So whether you're playing a war game or a skirmish game, whether you're fighting over an alien tundra, fantastical forest, or real-world setting, there's a great-looking battlefield for you. Our gaming mats are printed on extremely durable neoprene backing, so they won't slide around the table, and they're thick enough to stay flat, protecting what's underneath and allowing for slight uneven surfaces. We know from experience that an easily portable gaming surface is just better. Every mat comes with a sturdy nylon zip-up bag for storage and transportation. Whether your next battle is in your home or at the local game store, you'll be able to unroll your FLG mat and get gaming right away. Our products are all made and tested by passionate gamers at Frontline Gaming HQ right here in the USA. It's time to take your battlefield to a new level. Frontline Gaming, champions of tabletop.
Biggity Bam, we are back. Thanks for checking out our sponsor there, and welcome back. We have one more event to talk about. This is the Imp Gaming July Grand Tournament from Lincoln, England, and the UK. If you didn't know where England was, I guess there's Englands all over the place.
They did go everywhere and name everywhere after the same crap as back home, didn't they? So there's probably England's everywhere.
No, it's new stuff. So it'd be new
stuff. It's new
stuff.
Lincoln,
New Hampshire, yeah.
Is there a Hampshire? Is there a Hampshire? Does the regular old Hampshire exist somewhere?
Is there? There has to be. Why would you call it a new one if there wasn't one already?
I mean, I don't know if that's a hard rule.
So they named New Zealand, and I've never Googled what is Old Zealand. What is regular Zealand?
Where is Zealand?
You know,
raise your hand in the chat if you're from Zealand.
Not the shiny New Zealand,
not the shiny new one,
plain Jane Zealand.
As we've established through many episodes, which you can check out our back catalog if you'd like, we are not great at geography.
We are terrible at it.
But this
one of my geography class was a tourism class.
26 players, 5-round event. I like the smaller events with the multi rounds like this.
Fun
because everyone plays, everyone knows exactly what everyone's up to at these weekends. And so if there's one of those in your backyard, or even a little wise, within travel distance over, you will not regret going to these events.
Yeah, definitely not. Let's go over the quick and dirty stats here. The Imperial Superfaction there's going to be 2 Astra Militarum, 1 Grey Knight, 1 Imperial Knight. Space Marine Superfaction, there's 1 Space Wolf, 2 Blood Angels, 1 Ultramarine, 1 White Scar. The Chaos Superfaction, there's 2 Chaos Soup, 2,000 Suns, 2 Death Guard, 1 Demon, and 2 Renegade Knights. Xeno Superfaction, 3 Necrons, that's it. Hive Mind Super Faction, 4 Tyranids, that's it. And the Eldari Super Faction, 1 Drukhari. That's it. Faction podium then is the Tyranids at 4, Necrons at 3, a bunch of 2s, but no Craft World or Harlequins or Tau or Orcs.
What's crazy here is that we've had Necrons on 2 of our podiums, and in all 3 events, there's 1 Tau player across all 3 events. Across about 80 players, give or take, 1 Tau player. What a dramatic, crazy shift! Because it was
shift.
Our last 2 months, boys, last 3 months even, have been Necrons and Tau, podium place 1 and 2. Take your pick. It's one of them is 1 and 2. And now they're like not even there. But Tyranids have stayed the same.
And like 3 weeks
Hey,
ago,
you guys want to get some crisis suits? Now's the time to go on eBay. Eh? They're probably all up there right now.
Price to sell.
Sell.
3 weeks ago, Tau swept the entire weekend, like around the globe. Tau swept the weekend.
Yeah, 3 super majors. Bang, 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 Tau, Tau, Tau. Like crazy. Absolutely nuts. And now, bang, what I think has happened is that everyone's back at the redesign stage. And it's going to take them a couple of weeks to get back out there with new builds.
Look at the breakout of these lists. It's all over. It's really all over the place, which is nice. I mean, isn't that what we want to see?
Question mark?
Yeah.
I mean,
we want to see.
It's what I want to see. I love seeing.
We want to see a meta that gets refreshed, a game that rotates, it doesn't get stale. Whether it's too fast for you, not fast enough for you, up to you, personal preference. But let's jump in and have a look at some of these lists. So I wanted to get a knight list out there. Ben Townshend from this event had Renegade Knights, House of Vectrix with a super heavy detachment. This is a very tidy little list, and I'm coming around to these style of lists more and more for both knight configurations. There's a single knight desecrator because it gives out the captain's aura.
Yep,
a real ones.
One, yeah.
And then he has.
It's also a monster in combat.
Oh, it's a brute. It's an absolute brute. Then he's got 6 War Dog Brigands. Now those are the Melter and Gatling gun ones, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're the multi-purpose jack of all trades shooting profile. You're not hemmed into like, if the autocannon's bad, this knight is bad kind of deal that you get with the Helverin, whatever that.
The Executioner.
I'm still trying to get my head around the names.
No, it's rough, man. There's like 9 of them. There are like
yeah.
You could take one of each in your list and before you run out of points,
And then he's got 4 Stalkers. Now the Stalkers are the claw and melter gun, yeah. Thermal spear?
No, though I actually reverse that. I think the brigand is actually the claw and the melter gun, or the chainsword and the melter gun.
That would make more sense.
And the stalker is the assault cannon.
That would make more sense.
And the claw or the melter gun.
So straight up spam in the melter gun. 10 of them. 10 of those melter guns. 2 shots apiece. 20 melter shots per turn coming out of this. I like it. I like it a good. I would have thought you'd see 1 or 2 carnivores. I saw on the weekend. Some things carnivores were doing to opponents in a teams event I was at. Carnivores are stacked. Man, they are nuts.
Look, make them infernal move 17. Take 10 of them and move 17 inches every single one of them on turn 1. Is watch your opponent rethink all their life choices up until that moment. It will be. It's like well, here I was. I remember when before I made these choices and found myself in this situation.
Theoden happens in your ear, and what can men do against such reckless hate? Couldn't be more perfect a time. But this is a good list. So this is 10 smalls and 1 big. It managed to get the 10 smalls in, which I think is nice. Because usually you'll see like 1 big, 9 smalls, and he's done that by not taking the autocannon knights because I think they are the most expensive, right? They're the 155ers.
Are they?
Or whatnot. I think they're the most expensive. They are the most expensive for Imperium, at least. They're 155 for Imperium. It's 10 points cheaper for the Armiger.
Okay, I want to revise my answer. The Brigands are the ones with the 6-shot cannon or 12-shot cannon and the melters.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
We got there.
And the Stalker is the 12-shot cannon in the claw. So there's no melters.
That's right. No melters.
Or sans melters.
It's all the 12 shots.
Look, I had to check. I had to pull up the app.
Good
stuff.
I had to
check.
Thank you.
Which I like those profiles though because that means they have the horde clearing. Like you clear the screens with a gun and then charge in and just smack them or pick them up and throw them.
I think they're the all round. They're the perfect all rounder, and I like that they're not shy. Like I wish you could take some with an autocannon and claw because I think that'd be sick.
That would be okay.
Might be too perfect. Duality. But yeah, this is good. This is really good. I like this list a lot. All right, jumping on.
This be curious how it plays because in the new CP, the new command point structure of things or whatever, I think we are going to see this archetype for Chaos Knights, and I actually been saying this for a bit now, is one giant one and then a bunch of the small ones.
Yeah, exactly right. I think that's the best way at the moment, especially when you don't have the confidence in what terrain you're going to get or player placed or whatnot. I think smalls is the way to go. Might even be the
Desecrator's a good choice, interesting choice, because a lot of people have been focused on the Abominate because you can kind of make it. I don't want to say invulnerable, but definitely like you can give that thing 2 more rounds than you would expect from any other knight. So the Desecrator is kind of bold here, and really curious how this works out.
Well, the interesting one here is that by taking the Abominate, you unlock all the psychic secondary options. Like you unlock all of them. You can just take a whole new tree of secondaries. Although I didn't do the tech breakdown. This, so one of these little knights could be a Psyker and could be that bringing that with him.
Well, the Chaos secondaries as they are already, like they have 2 auto takes already. Like they don't even need that really one really.
Although that other one did change though to where it's not as attractive because you have to give up kind of something now, whereas before you could just kind of do it.
Exactly right. Yep. Mr. Matt Palmer's list is next. This is the double up on the Tyranids. This is Behemoth though, and it's a fundamentally very different beast, and you'll see why in a moment. 3 Zoanthropes in the No Force Org, a Neurothrope and a Flyerant for the HQs. Sorry, it's a battalion if I didn't say. 10 Hormers, 2x3 warriors, so min warriors. 1 Death Leaper, so the same as Inez, and then 2 units of 3 and a unit of 2 Screamer Killer Carnifexes. 8 Carnifexes, my boys.
So we missed Mr. Higdon's list back from the Isle of Man list. He's actually taken 10 Carnifexes or whatever as well.
So cool.
So I think that may be where there's a shift towards those.
An internal shift. If you're going to play on dense terrain, if we're going to lose all of Hail of Doom and all the stuff, and a lot of the Tau crisis suits that kept the Carnifexes down, maybe they got a lot more play. I mean, a Hammerhead one-shots a Flyer, and the same as a one-shot a Carnifex, and there's a big points discrepancy between those 2 models. So why not take the one that just does the
That's a great point. That's a real good point.
If we start to see the Tau like bring their Hammerheads, Riptides out again, yeah,
I think they will. I think absolutely the Riptides.
That's what I've been seeing.
I'm not sold on the Riptides. I'll wait to be convinced on the Riptides that 2 or 3 of them is worth it. One of them's probably absolutely fine. 3 Hammerheads is freaking terrifying for some lists, though. Like, whoa.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
He's got
nuts.
Hope for the best. Oh, please roll a 3.
Yeah.
Well, it's the other thing with all the big knights out there, too. Like, you might see that. Well, you almost definitely see the string into like the Hammerheads and stuff too with Tau, and I think other armies are going to start to have to worry about these Gatekeeper Knight armies too, because it's another one of those lists that's coming back. Is even if it's not winning tournaments, it is gatekeeping every single one there. Like you have to be ready to fight them, because if you don't have the tools to fight knights, you're just going down. You're going down hard.
Yeah, you're getting run over. Why Behemoth here, Dustin? And how do you feel about the Screamer Killer spam?
Well, Screamer Killers are ridiculously good on their profile. 10 attacks on I think it's actually 11 attacks on the charge. Behemoth will give them +1 strength on the charge. They get to re-roll their charges as well, which is it's already good. It's the opponent's strength. They're trying to get to that strength level. They don't need to worry about re-rolling some of the time. So I'm actually looking at if they come stock with the adrenal glands. I don't think they
also
can't give them to them. So if he has the adrenal glands on there, they can give the strength 8 base.
Behemoth, the big thing about Behemoth is they get to pick from the lurk tree, which is the best tree for the adaptive traits. What can you pick from there that's going to synergize with the Screamer Killers?
Give them all count as 5 OBSEC models.
That's probably a good choice.
It's probably a good pick, right?
It'd be hard to hate that. Yeah. It'd be hard.
So, funnily enough, we have some parallels between this list and the previous list, because that guy's got 10 Armigers and this guy, War Dogs. This guy essentially has 8 War Dogs in the OBSEC 5 Screamer Killers. That's actually quite kind of interesting. How spicy. We have to move on. This next one is from Simon Miller, and this is the single Drakari list. This are we going to be coming full circle and get back to where we started with Drakari? Because this is a triple patrol with a hell of a lot of stuff. Jumping down, it's Strife, Blackheart, Prophets of Flesh in that order. We got a Succubus, 1 unit of 10, 2 units of 5 Witches, and then 2 units of 5 Hellions, which I absolutely adore still. And then the Blackheart portion is an Archon with Drazar. So here's your complement of 3 absolutely obnoxious characters in the Strife Succubus, Archon, and Drazar. He's got 10 Trueborn, 5 Cabalites, 2 to 5 Incubi, and then everything is going to be in 4 Raiders and 2 Venoms. And then lastly is the Prophets of Flesh Patrol with a Homunculus, 10 Homoxites, which I think are extremely underrated, and 2 units of 5.
They've been on the rise for probably
warriors.
6 months or so. The
Yeah, I've got a feeling the 2x5 warriors that I've written there is 2x5 racks. Apologies, guys. I do remember them being racks. For some reason, I just wrote that. Right. But dude, 10 Trueborn. I can tell you these 10 Trueborn are teed up to the 9s. They have all the full complement of special weapons, and they're going to be going in a Raider, and they'll be sitting at the back of the board, fire and fading. And then everything else is going to go in the other 3 Venoms. 3 Raiders and 2 Venoms, and just be a surgical annoyance to you, where they just throw deadly characters with Hellions and Incubi and support. We're coming full circle on this. This is a list that we've seen probably going crazy gangbusters a year ago, and this is exactly what we're seeing again. What do you make of it, boys?
It's like you said, it's coming full circle. This is exactly what Drukhari were running with their MSU days, and then they got a slight points hiking, like with the Incubi and a couple other units, and then they kind of went away from it, went to Talos, and they went on this long journey, and now they have come home to the list that has always been good for them, to be honest.
I like the 6 vehicles.
Me too. One of the biggest things that Drukhari are good for is their fast vehicles that are also transports. Like, it's actually really good playstyle for them.
Cheap. You don't care.
Like,
and they all have invulnerable saves. Like, how many times have you been on the other side of it where you're just like, man, okay, that thing's basically made a tinfoil, but I can't get through that freaking invulnerable save because this guy won't stop rolling 5s.
Every day. It's frustrating as hell. What's also cool is that this walks the tightrope of not giving up any secondary except maybe grind. Like, it doesn't have enough vehicles that it gives up, bring it down. Doesn't have enough characters that it gives up a huge score on assassinate. Like, it does have 4, but if you're getting all 4, he's getting tabled. So
you're never getting them, because you're like, okay, cool, I'm gonna put them all in this one Venom, and it's gonna be off board for 3 turns.
Oh, in reserve. Yeah, if you took assassinate. So yeah, there's a lot of great secondary interplay, and while I think Herd the Prey got the same or a little bit worse for him, they've got better secondary game elsewhere. They're also them and Harlequins are the best behind enemy lines getters in the game, and behind enemy lines is actually a good secondary now, because unlike Engage, where you need to be feeding units to your opponent for 5 turns of the game, you can just make sure you go 2 or 3 turns on behind enemy lines and then just forget about it. See if you get some turns later, it's okay, because you get 2 or 3 4s on behind enemy lines and you're fine. It's fine. That's cool. That's a perfectly good second secondary pick. And you just move on and just go about killing them. So I do love that for them too. So you can play that duality of taking behind enemy lines, taking Herd the Prey, do the other bits and pieces in there. I think it's a great archetype. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it become one of the main ones for them. The only thing I'll still lament about Drukhari is that I wish they got some points reductions on their shooting options, like Scourges went down, Ravages went down, because right now they really lack good quality shooting. They have like okay profile shooting, but they can't get enough like Dark Lancers in a list for it to matter versus things like Knights, versus things like Hammerheads even. It's these other archetypes that are coming might just be a big issue, because you just have no way to kill them from your side of the table. You have to go and get them, and then they can use that against you.
We got a quick assist.
They've always suffered in the Knights. Like, that's always been a tough matchup for the Drukhari because of that.
Got a quick assist in the chat from Artemis Steve saying that about the Carnifexes is that they got to be 10 wounds to count as the 5.
Yes.
For OBSEC.
They have OBSEC, just don't count as 5 models.
That's why. So he's opted to go with a different route than the Carnifexes. But we've now seen a couple of generals now going for this Carnifex route. I think that could become a new thing. We'll see how it all shakes out. So what faction or player you think is going to win this thing?
This is a hard one to pick.
If it was 3 weeks from now, I'd pick a Chaos player, because that faction is going to shoot through the roof here in a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of held off on the Chaos list, on the Chaos Space Marine list, because I know a lot of people don't quite have their finger on that pulse yet. Next week, you can expect me to do like possibly one Chaos Space Marine list from each of the big events. Just pull out one. As long as they're different builds, I'll pull out as many different builds of Chaos Space Marines as I can, because it's the hotness, and you need to know what's up with them.
So because of the size of the event, because of the faction that we see represented here, I'm going Renegade Knights
nice.
in some capacity. I think that list is kind of on the precipice, both them and Imperials.
It is interesting to note that a third of this tournament is the Chaos Super Faction for the first time. They're the dominant super faction at this event. They have 9 players in attendance. Everyone else is 5 or less. That's actually really interesting. And also something I'll note about what we'll be doing moving forward is that because of the changes in Nephilim, I've almost exclusively removed all the soup options. Like there's no there will be very few Imperium that from our table of contents. When
Are
we
you
do the faction
stalling to
breakdowns.
pick a winner? Are you trying to?
He
figure
definitely
out
is stalling.
I'm picking Blood Angels, Paul.
Really?
Just to you, because you said that. I was going to pick something else, but now it's Blood Angels because you didn't pick him.
Why is that
Now you
slighting
look
him? That makes him happy.
Yeah,
No,
heads I lose.
I'm going to be
was
right.
It heads I win, tails I win.
I also win.
Heads
what
I
do you
win,
think,
tails you
Dustin?
lose.
Yeah, Dustin.
I'm taking that Screamer Killis. I really like that. And I think it could do well, depending on the terrain and stuff too, obviously. But I like it a lot. It will flip a lot of nights.
Sweet. Look, we're almost at the end of our show here, but before we go, we have a segment we call the Fuego Rapido, where we give ourselves, actually, production gives us a list of topics where we rapid fire our responses to. We don't know what the questions are typically before we see them. And this is where we're going to kind of yield the floor to let production jump in here and do a little host duties. We give ourselves 2 minutes to run down these topics, and when the time is up, we move on to the next one. And, never to return. As much
Paul,
as some people would like.
Give me the theme, since you ruin my theme every week. What's the theme?
Okay, so we obviously are getting towards 4th of July here, and I think Canada Day is the next day.
Yeah, well, it's actually tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, it shows what
tomorrow.
I know.
Amazing.
So this
Fair
Fuego
enough.
must
Woo,
be
Canada.
about America and freedom.
It's close. It's close. All right, we're starting the clock. 4 must-haves for a barbecue.
I'd like to point out that I'm the only American on the show.
Yes,
It's true. It's true.
Yep.
All right, must-haves for a barbecue. Got to have a protein. Hamburgers. Like hamburgers. Those everybody loves hamburgers. Potato salad, but it's only got to be the Southern style
I knew
potato
you were going to say
salad.
potato salad.
Yeah,
I knew it.
French onion dip, but not the kind you buy already made. You got to make it yourself with the sour cream and the onion
fancy.
soup mix. And then I'm gonna go with a frosty beverage. Those are your four must-haves.
All right, I'm ready to rock and roll.
Go.
It's Australian barbecue.
Oh, I'm interested. This is what I'm listening to. Let's go.
You got to have just charred up to crap onions. Like just cook them to like they're jammy, they're crispy, they're crunchy, they're delicious, but mostly they taste burnt. That's the flavor you want. If it tastes like it's on fire, that like the rest of the country during summertime, you're onto a winner.
All right.
Beetroot. Okay, I know you guys are down with it. Put beetroot on your burger. It's delicious. It's earthy, it's sweet, it's delicious.
Okay.
It's a very Australian thing. You need to have some people who are way past their prime attempting to play sport. That is a barbecue must in Australia.
Okay.
Someone does a hamstring. It's ubiquitous. It happens all the time.
Pulls a hammy.
Yeah, pulls a hammy.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And then the last one, you need to have lamb. We eat a godload of lamb in Australia, and I'm just doing that because it's a very Australian thing for barbecues.
Those are the must-haves in an Australian barbecue.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is the very.
You need to have air guard for an Australian barbecue. Get rid of the lamb, air guard.
We got to Google this up. Dustin, you got
It keeps
13 seconds.
It keeps the flies away.
It
Sorry,
can't go
Dustin,
much different than what Paul said. It's like sausages, burgers, beer, chips. There you go. That's a barbecue.
So when you're outside having a barbecue in Australia, there's so many flies.
I need a
that you like,
translator.
fly protector.
Okay, go.
Yeah,
Which
seriously.
is what air guard is.
Oh. Okay.
Keeps the flies away.
Okay. Fuego.
Best.
Oh,
Yeah. No.
best G.I. Joe character.
Cobra
That's-
Commander.
That's so wrong.
I-
I can't. I
I
can't.
love.
Somebody open
Nobody-
the window and let some of the wrong out because
He
there's
was
the-
no
do you know-
way
do you know
that
why?
Cobra Commander is the best G.I. Joe character.
He makes fail Baden look like a straight winner. Just has never failed. A Baden is flawless compared to Cobra Commander. Like,
I got a story. When I was young and went to go get my first GI Joe, I don't even know if I knew it was where, but in the store, I thought Breaker was GI Joe. Breaker's the guy that runs the like comms. He just doesn't even. I don't think he came with a weapon.
Came with a communication device.
It came with a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
He's not the best character.
I've just looked up
It's
some...
Snake Eyes. It's Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes is pretty awesome.
What was the name of the white one? The white ninja? Shadow.
Storm Shadow.
That's it. It's pretty cool too.
Yeah, they're all pretty cool. I mean, really, I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a massive collection of GI Joes in my garage. Like I collected them since I was 2 until I was 22. I love those things. They
are cool. I gave them to my sons as soon as they were old enough. Had a tackle box.
What is your favorite, Dustin?
To pick my favorite, it's actually hard because there's too many of them. But if I had to pick one, I would actually say Sergeant Slaughter.
Nice.
Because he's also a wrestler.
No,
he is. Yeah. There is a lot. I just googled GI Joe characters. There are so many more than I ever imagined.
Oh no, dude, you have no idea. That's what I mean. Like, and I have a lot.
Who's the Minesweeper guy? I like the Minesweeper guy.
Roadblock.
The one that has,
I don't know.
Roadblock's a good one. Gung Ho is a good.
I like Beachhead too. Beachhead.
Destro's
awesome.
All right.
Yeah. Wild Bill.
I could talk about GI Joes all night, so we should move on.
Captain America or Wolverine.
Not even close.
It's Wolverine, like all day long. Wolverine's my favorite character.
Happy Canada Day. Yep.
I am a straight up hater of Captain America. Not that I don't like the premise. I just find him boring as crap.
You didn't like Chris Evans' portrayal of Captain America?
Nah, but he did what he could with the character. The character's just boring. Self-righteous douchebag.
You like Captain Canuck?
As long as it's played by what's his face or Firefly. What's his name?
Oh, Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who Nathan Fillion is. Whatever he plays, it's just awesome.
It's just gold.
It's just gold.
That is true. I wish if he plays 40K, let us know. We'll interview.
Yeah, please. Please.
Is anybody?
I'm sure he does. He at least knows about it. He reads about it at the very least, for sure.
Is anybody going to defend Captain America, or are we just like?
I mean, Captain America.
I can pretend to.
I mean, no. If we're talking about objectively, which is the better character, Captain America or Wolverine? It is Wolverine all day long.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, objectively, the characters, there's no comparison at all. Because, like Adam said, Captain America, I find is just a boring character because every single situation, you know exactly what he's going to do. And while Wolverine, you can kind of guess what he's going to do. It's a lot more exciting when he does it. You know what I mean? It's just...
Well, sometimes, he just, goes berserker. And
he surprises you sometimes, too. It's cool. And that's more exciting to watch. Captain America goes and apologizes immediately afterwards. Like that's...
Also, I do want to say, the one-liners from Wolverine in the X-Men animated series are just the best. Like, calling people gutter trash, and yeah, it's just so good.
It's Wolverine. We can end it here. Yeah. Okay.
I know it's just Wolverine. Sorry, I could talk same with like you with GI Joes. Probably we'll go Wolverine for a long time.
Yeah. What's more American, jean shorts or sleeveless shirts?
I have to go with sleeveless shirts because
even though the Canadian production is wearing a sleeveless shirt on camera for you right now that nobody else can see,
and Adam almost always wears a sleeveless shirt.
Yeah, like the only American on here has never actually worn a sleeveless shirt on the camera.
I think I did one time in solidarity.
You did, yeah, I remember.
Okay,
I own 2 of them. One is a club shirt from a Canadian club.
What?
Hey, this is not helping you.
Where do the jean shorts being American thing come from? That's from Daisy Dukes on just from Daisy Dukes. Is there any other pop culture?
I'm not
Miley Cyrus.
I don't know of any other jean shorts that has its own.
Is it actually a style in specific states or something, or is it just? I don't know. I'm genuinely asking. I don't know.
It might have been for a period of time.
I could see sleeveless shirts all over the place, but I mean, I see that more in Australia than I see it in the States.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought I'd see a lot more in Florida, in the...
Yeah, that'd be a place to see it, I would think, yeah.
Denim or tank tops?
Tank tops.
Yeah.
Denim, American? Maybe in the winter?
Come on, jeans were invented in the West.
I always thought
1800s
denim was
cowboys.
Was very American. Yeah,
super American.
Way less
Jean
chafe.
shorts.
Oh
Though,
yeah, I
don't
guess
know.
I see a lot of jeans, even like in like hot weather too. Okay.
Canadians might have done that. So I mean, by process of elimination, that happens to be.
Oh,
It must be
we'll
tank tops.
wear shorts in winter because we don't.
Might as well.
The cold doesn't bother us.
Yeah.
We live in it. We don't care.
All right, moving on. We can fuego that. Reset. Best movie about freedom.
Oof. Braveheart.
I mean, no. Come on.
Ooh.
Just
I was
'cause he
gonna say-
says it.
It's Independence Day, not to be.
The first one. Yeah.
There was a second one.
No, there was. I haven't seen
there
it.
is not
No,
a
there
second
wasn't.
one. There is not
Yeah.
a second one. Just don't.
We will
don't-
not go
don't-
quietly into the night. We will not give up without a fight.
I
Yeah,
love
so
that
good.
movie.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I watched that when I was like what 11, 12, so it was the coolest thing ever at the time. So I'm here for it.
Okay.
Well, Jeff Goldblum. with his-
Yeah. A cast with Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith in it? What the crap? What the hell was that?
Jeff Goldblum drives me nuts, man.
What?
Actor-
That dude is
he drives
he's a
me
treasure,
nuts.
an absolute treasure.
I would like to see him and an unleashed Nick Cage, star together in something.
That would be
Just let
amazing.
Nick Cage just be as
They'd run out of
wacky as-
tape, man. They couldn't
would.
record.
Oh
all
yeah,
that.
no. The
Yeah.
first scene, it was like, okay, well that's the movie, guys. We'll just release it.
Yeah,
like
that's
this.
it. It's done. Yeah.
Just knock the ends off that.
Knock the ends off that. We're good.
Put some
Yeah.
opening credits and then the end credits.
Amazing.
And,
Put him in a room with coffee.
What other shows about? Like, what other shows? That
Captain
are
America.
exclusively about- It is. I guess it is.
Canadian
unfortunately.
bacon.
No, I'm talking about the original Captain America, not the newer one that came out, like the one that came out in like 1991 or something. That one was actually, it's not bad. Paul's looking it up for its time. For its time.
He's not looking it up.
no, I was looking at the chat. Somebody to save us is what I was looking at.
There's
Patriot. The Patriot was actually a good one. That one's good.
I just freaking love that you've it's Braveheart. It's just Braveheart, but worse.
Because he says it.
It's just Braveheart, but
Oh,
worse.
no,
I love,
Patriot. Patriot is definitely like
We
just
have
a
to say
reskin of
Braveheart because he did all those like.
I love that
UK
they
event,
went
right?
and to get like the mythical Scottish folk hero and the mythical American folk hero, and they both got an Aussie for either of them.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
fantastic.
Last question of the day, since we're talking about Captain America a lot, who is the current 40K Captain America?
Kaga?
Like for teams? Or are we talking about actual characters?
That's the great thing about Fuego, Paul. It doesn't
It
matter.
could be anything. That's
Yeah.
right. It
Be
can be
anything.
anything. And
Who's a
So,
goody two shoes?
it's got to be someone with
Mhm.
I don't want to say glorious purpose, but that's Loki.
Mm.
That'd be the other side of the coin.
Mm.
I'm gonna
It's
I'm
Eldrad.
gonna go. Yeah,
Eldrad?
yes. Yeah, I can see it.
Doesn't even hold a shield.
It's
He's
true.
got a mental shield.
Jesus.
He has a defensive weapon. He has a staff.
I have two options. One of them
Okay.
because it's funny, Kato Sicarius, because he's a captain. He's Captain
Okay.
America.
He wears
Captain
blue.
and he
Okay.
wears blue, and he's a do-good and piece of crap. Infallible wanker. I can't stand infallible anythings. And the other one's Drago.
My man.
Because he's got a shield, he's a do-gooder, never does anything wrong,
Yeah.
I don't know if I-
absolutely superhuman.
I don't know if I could
kills-
trust Drago.
Kills
What?
Primarchs.
Well, if you're
Yeah.
not a Xenos, you could maybe
That's
or a
right.
Psyker.
I don't know if I
Henry-
could trust
Henry Cavill.
Drago.
There's a lot of caveats there, but maybe.
Yeah.
You
What
know,
are those
I got my
options out
theories
there?
about Drago.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think he's impure. He's a Horus clone.
I have no theories about Drago. He's not even. on
Then
my-
let me introduce you to a couple of.
He's not even on my top 20 to watch list.
He's so cracked up. He doesn't know what's going on.
Warp dust. Look, that's the end of our show. This has been a fun one, and it's nice. So what we're launching. We're a jumping off point to what will be the meta for the next 6 months, and I think we just got a glimpse of it here. And there's some stat lists. I know we looked at some of the smaller events going around the world, but stout players, good to see in the minds of them. We got to see some incredibly spicy list text. So if you joined us late live, go back and check out the rest of the show. If you were joining us after the fact on the podcast aggregators, we really appreciate it and glad you found us. Y'all got anything you want to add before we wrap this up?
Happy 4th of July, Canada Day, or whatever you're celebrating this long weekend. Thanks for joining us.
A sincere thank y'all. Yeah, to everyone.
Happy Canada Day, my cold cousins. Yes, enjoy.
We just hit 100 messages in the live chat. I wasn't kidding about folks. If you don't join us live and you do get the opportunity to do so, you might want to jump in the chat. So we have a fun time. If you are listening to us after the fact, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave us some 5-star reviews, because that is a hassle-free way that other people. Actually, I was off camera. 5-star reviews means a whole lot. We'll see y'all next week.
See ya.
Play some Necrons. Up the Necrons.